Every little girl grows up dreaming about her happy ever after, but most of us don't have fairy tale scriptwriters making sure we get it. That's where the Happy Ever After show comes in. If you have been waiting for a fairy godmother to wave her magic wand and release your frustrations, create the prosperity you want, and live a life you love, then listen closely. It's time to learn how to make your own wishes come true with your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Happy Ever After show. You are listening to the Double Your Business season, which I am loving. I hope you are loving it as much as I am. I'm getting a lot of great feedback about it. And I know if you're listening to this podcast, it's because you want to double your business without doubling your hours so that you can actually enjoy the life that you've built. And today we're going to talk about the steps to doubling your business the slow, quick way. So I'm guessing if you're still here with me that you listened to last week's episode about the quick, slow way and the slow, quick way. And you've said, okay, I want to give this slow, quick way a try because likely if you're anything like me, you have tried the quick, slow way and it didn't really get you anywhere. It was actually the slower way. So I'm excited that you're here with me and I'm excited to talk about the steps with you today in the slow, quick way so that you can get to be able to double your business without doubling your hours, because that's really what we all want, right? Like you want your business to make money without taking everything that you have. And if you're making the kind of money that you want to make, if you're able to double your income and double your business, you want to be able to enjoy that, right? Because it's not really that fun if you can double your business, make a lot more money, but not have the time and the freedom to enjoy that. So I am excited that you're here and just excited to really talk about all of this stuff today. You know, I've started working with my stylist and I love it. I just recently hired her because I looked at my life and I said, okay, what's like the next step to stepping into my future self? And it was it's all about easy for me. I'm about easy. Like easy and free are two of the most important values that I have for my business. And really, I want to step into easy as much as possible. And so when I looked at I am not a person who loves shopping. You know, I used to like it, but I don't think I actually liked the process of it. I liked the sort of buying of stuff. And maybe at one point in my life I did like the process, but you know, I used to just go and I don't know, buy all this stuff off of clearance racks, and it was, you know, some of it was okay and some of it I bought it because like it was like $5, or I might need this shirt because it's $3, whatever. And I would leave with these bags of clothes, and there was like a quick hit, like sort of shopping enjoyment, but I think it was actually from the buying, right? And so I did that for a long time. And once I broke that habit, shopping just isn't as fun for me. Like I like to have clothes that I love, but I don't really enjoy the process of going through and finding clothes that I love. And so that's why I hired my stylist, because I'm all about easy, and my future self is easy. And when I think about the business owner, you know, going through this process that I am, it's easy. Everything is easy. And so I hired my stylist because I want that part of my life to be easy. And it's really a dream come true to have someone pick out amazing stuff for me and have these boxes show up where almost everything fits perfectly. Maybe it needs to be hemmed or something, you know, but just amazing things show up, and it's so easy and it's so much more fun. Like I love everything that's showing up. I love the process. It's so easy. And so it's just one of the things that, you know, I've been able to do because I've been able to double my business. And it's also part of the process of continuing to double my business again, is stepping into that version of myself. So I'm excited about that. If you are loving this season of the podcast, you definitely want to get my upcoming book, which is called Double Your Business, and it will be available on Amazon September 1st. So mark your calendars. In the meantime, if you haven't got it yet, I did create a 4-part video course for you that will walk you through these steps that we're talking about to doubling your business. And you can get that by just going to doubleyourbusinesswithcassie.com, and that's CASSIE. So grab that video course at doubleyourbusinesswithcassie.com, and we'll get you on the even faster track to doubling your business. So today we're going to talk about the steps in doubling your business, an overview of this process. I'm going to give you a little insight into each of those. And in the upcoming episodes, we're going to go deeper and I'll tell you, give you more examples and all that. But so you've heard a little bit about this, but before working this process, I took all kinds of courses and I tried different marketing techniques because I was ready to double my business. I had wanted to start the first year of my business as a very easy, slow. I wanted plenty of time and plenty of freedom in it, and just to sort of build it when it felt good. And about almost, 10 months into that process, that stopped feeling really good. That process wasn't working for me because I really did want to double my business. I really wanted to, make more money. And it was about the money, but it was also about making an impact. Doubling my business meant I was making more of an impact in the world. And so that was important to me too. So I did all these courses and I tried these different marketing techniques, but in the back of my mind, I knew that something was missing. And part of it was that I didn't want to work hard. I felt like I was already working just about as many hours as I wanted to. Because what happened is I started really, flowing, just kind of like working when it felt good, all this stuff. And when I decided I wanted to double my business, I did what we talked about on the last episode. And I started, I did the quick, slow way. I started doing all this stuff, right? So I started working really busily. So when I came to the point that I started the process that we're talking about, I was working what I felt like was all the hours I wanted to be working. And a lot of that was busyness, right? But I didn't realize that at the time. But, so I didn't, all these ways that I saw were going to take all this other time. And I just felt like I don't want to double the hours that I'm working. I don't want to give up my freedom to have the business that I want. So, I looked at all this stuff, and in the back of my mind, I knew that there was something I was missing. I knew what I want existed. I just couldn't see it yet. I just couldn't see like how or what it was or any of that. So I went through the process that I'm going to give you the steps for today, and I opened up to see. What happened is that I opened to see exactly what I was looking for. And like I've mentioned before, in my case, it was a mentor that could help teach me things that I'd never been taught before. And also show me how to easily set up my business so that I could more than double it without working double the hours. And that was a blessing. And everybody's path looks different, right? I've talked about my client, Jill, whom I love and adore. And for her, really, it was just like it was one email. Like her path was like being inspired to write, actually, I think it was 2 emails, but, write an email the day after we finished working together. It was just being inspired to write that email that, was half of doubling her business. And then she wrote another email about 7 days later and she doubled, and then she doubled her business. So in 10 days, she doubled her business. And really, it was just the inspiration to write those emails. Number one, the inspiration, but also who she was in those emails. It was just really about how she showed up. And so the opportunities really found her. She didn't go out and search for this stuff. But it really came to her like, what was the next step? So for me, when I got really clear and I went through this process, it was being led to write my first book with Difference Press and then hire my mentor. For Jill, it was just sending out these inspired emails that were showing up from her future self. So the path shows up differently for everyone. And the cool thing, I think this is fun, so people don't, this is the part that takes some adjustment, is you don't know how it's going to show up. But again, remember, this is why it's the slow, quick way, because you're really going through the steps in the process and you're allowing the path to appear instead of doing it the quick, slow way where you're just like sort of running around crazy, busy, and not getting the results that you want, which is really the slower way. So we're going to talk about the steps, which I love. So the first step, and I've talked a little bit about this on the first season of the Happy Ever After show, but I'm going to talk about it in context of this process and the whole process now. So you want to set an income intention. That's the first thing we're going to talk about, and we'll do really almost a whole episode on this. I'm going to talk to you in a future episode about how a goal is different than an intention. We're taught to set goals and make them specific, measurable, realistic, time-related. And the problem with that is that those goals lack the depth and clarity that allow that easy path to appear. So often I tie the traditional way that we set goals with people jumping into that quick, slow way, right? Because you've set this goal, you've got to meet it by this time, and you've got to, go make it happen. And so you jump into this action without really getting clarity on whether that's taking you where you want to go. And so we talked about that last time, that quick, slow way. And I think setting a goal rather than an income intention is really what part of that is about. So when you make a goal realistic, it keeps you in a bubble that really isn't big enough for you to grow into, which makes it hard to achieve in some ways. And we'll talk about that on a future episode. When you get focused on measuring them and putting that deadline on them, you feel rushed, and it's almost inevitable that you'll pick that quick, slow way because of that. Because when you feel rushed, you feel like you have to be doing something, right? And so goals don't really breed the space to do the slow, quick way. Setting a goal really breeds the quick, slow way instead of the slow, quick way. And I'm going to show you how setting an income intention will open up the process and allow it to unfold quicker and easy. And really, setting an income intention sets you up for the slow, quick way. And then next, we'll talk about creating your future budget. So this is the second step. Once you have your income intention, you'll create your future budget. And you'll create your future budget because you need to know, again, this is part of getting at clarity of what your life looks like. So I've had you think about, what does it look like when you look through the lens of doubling your business? I've had you look through that. But creating your future budget gives you an even more specific and clear vision of what it looks like to make your income intention and to really double your income. And also, money is energy and really likes to have a place to flow. So the budget is important because it's giving your money sort of a pathway to flow towards. And when you choose that, your money flows there versus just like leaving everything open. And sometimes, then money finds another way to be spent, right? So knowing how your money is going to be allocated also gets your brain to be with you in this process. The more clarity we can give your brain, the less sort of those fear alarms are going to go off, because we're giving your brain as much information as possible. And so your brain is going to be working. It's like, okay, right? If you just say, I want to make $500,000 and your brain has no idea what you're going to do with that, some alarm bells start going off. But when we work this budget, we're really working with the smart part of our brain, the part of our brain that wants to know, the part of your brain that can help you get on board or can throw up red flags and make it harder for you to get there. So we're going to create that budget. Then the next step is to analyze your budget. Once you have that future budget, you can look at it for clues about who you are in your future life. It's common to think I'm going to be exactly the same person, but have more money. And I have found that to almost never be true with anyone, definitely including myself. When you look at your budget, you will realize that it's not true. And in fact, knowing how you're going to be different is a key part of the process. If you do not know who you're going to be, you cannot step into that future person, right? So if the only thing that you see as being different is just that you're going to have more money, it's going to be hard to see how to step into that person. And when we can figure out how you're different and you can look at your budget and see, hey, I am different and different things happen and I do different things and this is a reflection of my life, we can really find a way to step into that, which leads into sort of the next step, which is to meet your future self. And often people talk about what your future self will be like. And the thing is, most of those observations are made from the present, looking forward, guessing, right? So standing where you are today, looking at your future self who's doubled their business and saying, oh, this is the way my life is going to look like. And the problem with that is that you don't know for sure who your future self is, and you're not in touch enough to see how she will be different from that place when you're standing here looking toward the future. It's the differences that are really the keys to unlocking the quick and easy path, right? It's those things that help you really get that clarity that we've been talking about so far, and guide you on the path and really help that path appear. In the next step of the process, which is meeting your, this part, which is meeting your future self, I'll teach you a process for taking your budget and getting familiar with who you are and who your future self actually is, so that you're not standing here today guessing who she's going to be when her business doubles, but you can actually tap into that future part of you and get some more clarity about who she is, because that's really the things that are important. And that's important for the next step, which is to mirror your future life. So after we have introduced your future self to you, we'll take that and we'll start to mirror your life with that. So most people think their dream life is light years away. And that's because they feel like they have to get there first. They want so much to be there, so they miss what is right in front of them. My clients always tell me, wow, so much of the future I want is already here. And that isn't most people's experience that I found. They just have not been able to see it because you're so focused on what you don't have that you're not seeing what's already here and what you can already be living, and just how some minor tweaks can get you really, really close to what you want. And the closer that you get to what you want, the faster the path appears. So if you can create now as much as of what you want, then that path will be created super fast. And you're going to learn how to really appreciate what already exists in your life, and look for ways that you can bring what's not yet in your current life into your life now. And this will give you the experience as much of your future life now as possible, which I talked about. The more you experience of your future life, the quicker and easier that path is going to show up to doubling your business. Experiencing more of your future now will take away the desperate need to get there. When that happens, what you desire, like doubling your business, happens quickly and easily. You've probably felt this, or you've heard the saying, right? A watched pot never boils. So if you're just like waiting, chomping at the bit to get to double your business, it's not as likely to happen, right? You're watching that pot boil, and you've probably felt that energy and those feelings before, right? And it's probably not fun. It's like anxious, it's frustrated, it's worried, it's stressed, it's thinking like, what can I do? And it's not getting you there any quicker, and it's not fun. But if we can, get you the experiences now, how much better is it going to feel as you step into your future self and you double your business, right? You're going to feel so much lighter because you're not like desperately trying to get somewhere. You're getting the experience now. And then you're going to step into your future self. So once you have mirrored your current life as close to your future life as possible, you'll learn how to tap into the experiences that you will be having in your future life. You'll learn how to take big steps into the experiences of that life to expand your consciousness to include experiences you will be having in that future life. The physical experience is an important part of the process. It's a step many people do not know how to do, and it really helps your brain get on board. When we can step into those physical experiences now, again, it takes away that desperate yearning, right? Which you know this, especially like, let's talk about our real estate agent, Carrie, who I love to use as an example. So if our real estate agent, Carrie, is desperate and wanting so bad to double her business, think about it. You've probably met someone like this, whether they were a real estate agent or some other type of salesperson, right? And when they're desperate for that, do you feel more like you want to work with them or less like you want to work with them? Depending on the level of desperateness, oftentimes you might want to turn and run, right? And if people are turning and running from you because they can feel that desperate, grabby energy because you don't have what you want and you're just trying so hard to get there, are you likely to get what you want if people are turning and running from that energy? Let's say the answer is no, right? So think about it. Have you ever been in a place where your business, where you were so desperate and so grabby and you wanted it so much that you might have been repelling your clients or your sales or whatever it is? By going through this process and really getting into, stepping into your future, we're going to eliminate that. And instead, what's going to happen is because you're living it now and you're experiencing it now, you're going to be open and a magnet for all the people that, are going to help you and those experiences, whether they're sales or whether they're mentors or whatever they are going to help you get to that next level of that experience. And they're going to be drawn to you like a magnet. And that path is just going to appear because you don't have that desperate grabby energy. You're not repelling things. You're inviting these experiences into your life, and you're inviting that income into your life, right? It's going to naturally flow into your life. What's going to happen when you start to do that, as I take you through this process, is that once you've gone through all these steps, you'll start to notice events happening in your life that match your future life. So it's going to be really important to take note of those, because that's a step, is really experiencing your future, and savor that moment when those happen. Allow them to be a channel to get to know your future self on a deeper level. And we'll talk more about that and how these experiences show up and how you can really use them to go deeper and to create a deeper connection with your future self, right? And the deeper that connection is, the more you have what you want now, the more of a magnet you are for doubling your business quickly and easily. And then we'll talk, the next step is about going deeper. And really this is just kind of, it's just deepening the process, deepening your experiences. Most people have done part of the steps that I just described to you. The problem is most people don't go deep enough, right? So you've probably done some sort of exercise, or, if you're into self-development, at your business, or you've done some sort of tapping into this. What does the life look like? Not a lot of that is going to be completely new, right? But the depth of which we're going to take it in is going to be new when I walk you through the steps. It's probably going to be deeper than you've ever done it. And because that's the problem, most people don't go deep enough. Doing one part without the whole process leaves a hole in your knowledge and understanding of your future self. And this makes it harder for the path to doubling your business to appear. The key is to continue meeting your future self and mirroring her life and stepping into her experiences so that you can experience more and more of your future self. And this process, once you have experiences that are like her, the whole process goes over. You're always doing the process. It doesn't start over. You're always doing it, and it's always getting deeper. The process continues to get deeper and deeper every time. And the reason this process works is that your future self starts to guide you. You know when you have the intuition to call someone out of the blue, and that leads to a sale, right? Have you ever had I just, decided to call this person and then it led to a sale, or a new client, they had a referral for you? Have you ever had that experience? Or you just happen to stop at a random store and run in to something that makes a difference in your business, whether it's a person or someone explains something, it's like an aha, right? You might just happen to have stopped at a random store and get a client. Those things start to happen so much faster, and they become more and more powerful. This process is really, all of these steps is what has allowed the path for my business to double 3 times to open. And it's really the path that's allowed this to happen for my clients as well, to just continue opening, and for my clients, it's not about, coming up with a new tagline or finding a new way to market. It's really about following this process and allowing that next step to appear instead of you going out and trying to make stuff happen. Again, we're talking about doing it the slow, quick way instead of the quick, slow way. So we'll go more in depth in upcoming episodes about all of these steps. Talk about lots of fun stuff. I just wanted to share with you, I got a note from Erica, and she shared with me how she loves the Happy Ever After podcast, and it keeps her on track growing her business. So I really love getting notes like that, and I wanted to share that with you. Your mantra for this week is, I allow my intuition to guide me. I allow my intuition to guide me. So just open up and start practicing that, and see if there's any way you can, definitely say that mantra, practice the mantra this week, and see if there's any way you can actually put that into practice in your business this week, allowing your intuition to guide you. And it'll happen more and more naturally on its own as we talk through the next steps and you get introduced to that. If you're just want to just jump in right now, go to doubleyourbusinesswithcassie.com and register and take the video course, and that'll take you through these steps that we've talked about. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I always love hanging out with you guys and sharing how to double your business without doubling your hours. Have a fabulous week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for joining us on the Happy Ever After show, where you don't need a genie lamp to get your wishes granted. Now that you're inspired and ready to take action, get yourself on the path to your happy ever after by scheduling a complimentary strategy session at createmyhappyeverafter.com.